Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build that right there, that motor mount. There's one over here also, you can see it right there. And I did it out of all aluminum, parts are easily available, and bolted it down myself. I'll show you how to do the whole process, and let me show you why I did it. Let me flip the camera around. So I don't particularly like to flush my motor with that thing right there. I like using the motor flusher ears right here and hooking them up down there and then running the motor, and you get a complete flush. I run the motor until the thermostats open up, and I also use this product, Saltaway, and I built this little Saltaway injector thing right into my dock. So I ran another water supply. This is actually a water heater drain. It's solid stainless, quarter turn. And then all you have to do is turn this. You can see it's sudsing up already. But all I have to do is hook this up and run the water and run the motor, and I've done a complete flush. I start off on rinse. I know this video really isn't about this thing, but might as well show it to you. So I start off on rinse right there. Run the motor until it comes up to temperature, and then while the motor's running, I just quickly turn it past off, right over to salt. There we go. And then I run it until it's light blue. Comes out of the bottle dark blue. I run it until it's light blue, about 3 or 4 minutes. And the reason why I do that is because I want that Saltaway solution to sit in the motor in between uses. Well, I couldn't get back there, right? You can't get these ears on without being able to stand there. So couldn't be easier. I bought 2 U-beams for each lift. This one is significantly longer, and I'll show you how I made this one. I didn't actually film the complete installation of that one, but I'll show it to you here in a minute. Also, I used these clips right here. These clips are the same type of clips that they use right here on the canopy covers. They work great, and they make it so you don't have to drill any holes, any unnecessary holes here. You can see that is clamped. This is clamped, and there's a hole here, but this is the only hole in the entire I-beam. Everything else, you can see up underneath, is clamped. So what I did was clamp these 2 beams on, extend them out far enough so that I could just step down off the boat. This is a 1/4 inch diamond plate aluminum fastened with 4 stainless steel carriage bolts. This one is not really squirrely at all. It doesn't really bounce. That one is a bit bouncy. I also had to put that step in there because I couldn't reach down off the boat. I didn't feel safe, so I built a little step, and then I also put these tubes that come down and meet at the bottom of the I-beam, and that takes a little bit of the bounciness out of it. It's not gonna fall, it's not going anywhere, but it does bounce a little. Not nearly as much as it did without those 2 supports. You can see the other one in there if you look carefully. Anyway, if you're familiar with working with metal and you can use a drill and stuff, it really wasn't that big a deal. The hardest part was getting in there and taking the boat off and straddling these things. It just was time consuming. Anyway, stay tuned, and in this video I'll show you how I did it. In this video, we're going to install some motor access platforms on the back of these 2 lifts. And really all this is 2 aluminum C-channels. This one is 19 feet long. And then this one that I have already in place, nothing's bolted down, but you can see there's one, there's the other. These are 13 feet long because I wanted to get enough extension back behind the boat so that when I put that aluminum plate on there, I can stand back here and deal with the motor. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult because there's a further drop down to the motor. A little more difficult to get, you know, on and off. But this one will be super easy. It's just a step down and, you know, just regular motor maintenance, putting the motor flusher on. It just seems like a good idea to be able to easily get back there. So I'm going to extend it out as far as I possibly can. So these C-channels will be mounted. I push them forward so they don't cantilever into the water, but they'll be flush right with the, well, actually not entirely flush because of the way the clip needs to install, but right there is where they will, all right, right there is where they will clip on, and then they'll attach here also, but that will be how far I can get out around the motor. So it's going to be great. You can source these from a aluminum shop, a metal supply shop, really anywhere. I got these from a cover company. So the folks that make that cover, this is what they use. So I was able to buy these. I mean, I'll tell you what I spent on them. I spent $380 for everything, and I have to do it myself. But the boat lift company wants about $900 each for these things. So I'm saving, you know, I'm not spending $1,800. And then I got these 1/4-inch aluminum diamond plate panels. They are really, really beefy. It's 1/4-inch. I got them from a metal shop locally, and they sold them to me as remnants. That's why one is 22 by 22 and one is 22 by 18, because it was just the end of a sheet that they weren't using, so they gave me a deal on it. And the smaller one is plenty big enough for the little boat, and the big one is perfect for the bigger boat. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I'm going to install this. Oh, let me show you these. So you could bolt this to the aluminum I-beam and drill holes in the I-beam, but I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to use these aluminum clips, and basically they mount like this actually. So I can show you on the uprights right here. So they mount and they just clip underneath and hold it in position. I'll definitely use the clips on the back because there's no upward pressure back here really. But this is going to have a lot of upward pressure because of how far I'm extending back there when I'm standing on it. So I'm not completely sure I'm going to trust just these clips. What I may do is get some aluminum plates and do something like this, where I have a full, you know, a full underplate to add some strength. But we'll see. Stay tuned. The first thing I'm going to do is position that inboard one, so I have, you know, plenty of room to clear the motor, and then I will work outbound 24 inches to see where I end up, because this one I can pretty much move anywhere. It's I don't want to be too close to the motor. Obviously, when I bring the boat on the lift, I need to miss this thing. So let's start with that inside one. All right, that's 20 inches apart. So that'll give me 2 inches of overhang on either side. They're pretty parallel. So let's take a look back here and see how much clearance I have. So that one's hanging over plenty for the clip. And let's see this other one. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to see it from here. So that other one has plenty of overhang also. So I can pretty much just measure off the bunk on either side, and that's where they're going to end up. So I am going to go ahead and mark the one on the left up there, take it off and drill the clips. All right, I've measured 8 inches off of each bunk, and the boat curves in here, so I want it to be, I want it to look symmetrical, or even. 8 inches off the bunk in the front, 8 inches off the bunk in the back, and I'm going to just mark both sides. Bring this up. So what I'll do is put a line here, a line here, and a line back here. I'll do the same thing up on this side. And I should be able to get this one completely mounted before I remove the boat to do the other one. So the way these clips work is they're going to mount here, and I just need enough overhang to grab onto the I-beam. So basically that hole, this hole, can be right up against this line, which will give enough grab, right like that, just like these. Pretty straightforward. It should work just perfectly. Yeah. Seems too simple, right? That's what it looks like out of the water. So I'm just going to scoot out there, take some measurements, drill the holes, clip it down, and should be good to go. All right, so sharing is caring, and I will share with you that I absolutely hate being in water. I don't like being in really any water, especially this dark water. So for me to get on this lift and do this part of the work was actually really difficult. It took a lot of time to just figure out. You can see I'm trying to straddle the boat. I'm trying to really just not be suspended over the water like that. And I finally realized I just have to do it. I'm a little fat, right? So it's actually difficult to lean over like this. This part of the job was a complete pain, and I just had to power through it. Fortunately, I didn't drop anything, and I didn't fall in. I don't know of a other way to do it other than just get on the lift and deal with it. So that's my advice. This part of the job was actually pretty easy. I think I made it a little more difficult than I needed to because I was trying to keep the aluminum shavings off the boat and out of the water, and you just have to just do it. Blow the boat off later. But I probably should have clamped it with a clamp, but once you get that first bolt in, it goes pretty smooth from there. Aside from the boat moving around and everything else, it's really just drilling 4 holes, putting in 4 bolts, tightening them down. Job is done. And that was all there was to this installation. This is the first time putting the boat back on. I've used it just a ton of times in between, shooting this video and or editing this video and doing the work. And if I did crank that motor all the way over with the prop spinning, it would hit. So I've learned just to push the boat off manually or make sure that that engine is straight when I back the boat off. But you can see it's really convenient. You just step down on it. It supports, I weigh about 215 and supports me with absolutely no problem. I mounted it as close as I could get it so that I could access everything on the motor. I could take the cover off, I can put the ears on. I just wanted to be able to do everything, but like I said, you have to be mindful that propeller is spinning and it's really close, and if you don't keep that in mind, you could hit it. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If it inspired you to build this thing, you can get these parts really at any metal supply shop. And as always, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. See ya.